speaking of traffic, that Bay Bridge congestion has cleared up, so we're going over to Oakland to check out a fender bender on Interstate 880.
Temperatures 5 to 10 degrees above normal around California. Forecast high for the Bay Area and mid-70s to the mid-80s.
Started out like any other day in Northern California. By mid-afternoon, it was hot and hazy, the kind of balmy day the old-timers call earthquake weather. But even if it was unseasonably warm,
Everybody all right? Laura? Yeah. All right, here. Maggie, you okay?
Oh, God.
Everything's done. Get the power in.
We gotta get some help. Here, I'll take care of that.
What's going on yet? Power supply's good. Unit's coming online. Power supply's down. The whole bank is getting 40%.
What's the status on our computers?
Oh, God.
Everything's done. Get the power in.
We gotta get some help. Here, I'll take care of that.
Sure did, real strong.
Okay, we got it real bad here. You're the first call I've had. Okay, Torrance, right? Okay. Yeah. This is Tom Sperry. We got hit really bad. How does it look there? Okay, the traffic center, we're with Painter. Madison, Fairfax. All right, what's the estimate on getting on the air? Just take it as it comes?
No, we aren't. We are with Metro Networks.
Okay, you have my number here. Anything you want, just call direct. Of course, I'm monitoring the air. And I'll be ready for Beach when he comes back on. You got my number here, though, right? Just
You're talking right now over the radio.
Obviously, a major earthquake has just hit this area. Happened about 4 minutes ago. And I don't know about you, Maya. This was quite a jolt. But our reporters are running around in our newsroom, trying to get the latest on where this earthquake has been centered.
We obviously don't know how big this quake was, but I'm pretty sure that we have a good idea. We are going to do what we normally do when we have breaking news. We will stay on the air for as long as we need to.
Let's go to our Channel 4 newsroom. Johnny Goose is standing by to give us an update. Johnny, have you come out from under your desk?
Boy, that was a good one. Here in the newsroom, the lights went out and everyone started screaming. It was quite scary. I have never felt one like that. But here in the newsroom, we have several TV monitors sitting up on the walls. All of them fell out onto the desk below. Fortunately, no one was sitting at those desks when they fell. We have a lot of reports of power outages in places like São Paulo, Richmond, Pinot, and even in San Francisco. And here at the Channel 4, we are using emergency power. We do not have any reports of injuries or damage, but it's still pretty early. Everyone that has been calling our newsroom is saying that this quake was the worst one. Our Channel 4 reporters are heading to the USGS to get us the latest on when we get more. We'll let you know.
We will be getting back to you shortly.
This footage is from our own newsroom. You can see just how strong this quake was. The Channel 4 newsroom is in a mess right now. We have television monitors which are mounted on the walls, and all of them were thrown off the walls and onto the desks below. Unfortunately, no reporters were sitting there when this happened.
And this is probably what you might have gone through at your home. I'm sure that you have things knocked over like furniture and other stuff. You should be very careful because there could be broken glass and debris all over the floor. And this could hurt you if you are not careful. Also, another very important thing is to check your gas mains. That is really the first and most important thing you have to do. You do not want to run the risk of a fire. So check on all of your loved ones and then check around your home for any hazards. We have Kelly Wee who's calling from a cell phone in San Francisco. What part of San Francisco are you in?
Hello, I was walking down Market Street when suddenly the ground beneath me just started shaking. And I said, earthquake, earthquake. And sure enough, that's what was happening. I saw glass fall from some of the windows of the buildings. You could hear it falling. I also saw bricks falling off of some of the buildings. It's all over the place. Streets. It's really a mess down.
We've just received word that there were some injuries in your area. Could you see anyone that might be hurt?
No, I couldn't see anyone that might be hurt. There are many people wandering around in the streets now. So the streets are pretty crowded right now.
All right, thank you for being with us. Be careful out there. Let's go back to our newsroom where Johnny Cruz can give us an update.
Now that this quake might have been centered in the San Pablo area. Ham radio operators are reporting serious damage and some fires in the area. They are saying that the East Shore Freeway has fallen down onto the street below it, and there might be some cars trapped. We have not confirmed this, but many people are calling and reporting this. Details are still sketchy. We have so many people calling our news room and reporting many different things. We've just been told now that there is an apartment building collapse in El Cerrito and people may be trapped. We'll check on this report for the details. We are getting reports of fires. These fires are most likely caused by broken glass pipes, so people should check their glass meters around their home. And if you're not sure about that, what to do after an earthquake, grab your phone. It's all in the front of the phone book. There you'll find all kinds of helpful information. That we are still on emergency power. If you didn't feel the quake, it happened at about 3:30. At first it was a rolling motion, and then it got so strong that people in our newsroom became terrified. The BART trains are all stopped, and that would include the Trans-Bay Tunnel, where there might be a BART train inside it. We will check on that. People, please be careful out there. Police departments are asking that people stay off the roads. There is no need to do any sightseeing. Let Channel 4 bring you the pictures. And whoa, we are getting a pretty good sized aftershock right now. This building is moving, and it is continuing. What you should be doing is getting away from windows, cabinets, or anything that could fall on you, and protect your head. Now that was the second aftershock, and things have calmed down once again. But people should make sure that they are ready when these aftershocks come. Back to you, Lauren and Myra in the studios.
This is real good advice. And here's our seismocam showing that aftershock that has just occurred. And as Johnny has just said, please be ready for these aftershocks. As we all know, they can cause further damage. We are continuing to wait for the official word on this quake. Our Channel 4 reporter will be attending a press conference at the USGS in the Menlo Park.
KGE is reporting that the 911 system is down in some areas. There are too many people calling and reporting minor things. You shouldn't do that. 911 is only for life-threatening emergencies.
We have one report out of Rodeo that a man was injured when his frightened horse apparently ran toward him, knocking him down. So the animals are acting in very strange ways, so take care of them.
We have our own Channel 4 reporter who is out and about somewhere on the road. Alan Hamlin, are you there?
Yes, first of all, Myra, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Go right ahead.
No, we've got houses on fire here. I'm just eastbound on Interstate 80, and to the west of me.
I can see
One fire, and in the East Bay Hills. I can see another one. And there's another. They're all over the place. I see columns of smoke rising throughout the city of Richmond. Oh, I just came up on another one. This one is just a couple of blocks away from me, near the Warren Freeway.
Alan, are these homes on fire?
Yes, these are homes burning out here in Oakland, Piedmont areas.
Okay, Alan Hanlon, thank you for your report. We need to get this word out of all off-duty police officers. Any off-duty police officers are asked to report to duty as soon as possible. You are needed in your city to... And when the earthquake hit, I have to tell you, I have never felt one that knocks you off your feet. I was knocked against the file cabinet and a cameraman actually tackled me to the floor. Where were you, Myra, when the quake hit?
I was downstairs buying a candy bar, and all of a sudden everything went boom, and my feet almost came out from under me. We've been through this before, and for a minute I said, "This is it." I expected the building to fall down, and the candy machine and I danced across the floor.
We have someone named Scott Waterworth who works in San Francisco City Hall building, and he's on our live line with us. Tell us what happened today.
Well, I was on the third floor of City Hall, and I have to tell you that was quite an experience. I happened to be walking down the hall when the building suddenly started shaking like nothing I have ever felt before. I've been in this building before during other earthquakes, and this certainly was the most scariest. There was a young woman standing at the other end of the hall who started screaming, and she ran into my arms and held on for her dear life. And the quake just continued and continued.
Okay, thank you for your call. Our next eyewitness is calling from Vallejo. This is Jason. Tell us what happened today.
Well, good afternoon. Just where I was.
In the bathroom?
Yes, that's right. My first reaction was... I kept waiting for it to stop, but it kept going and going. It was pretty scary when it finally stopped. I went outside. You could hear every car alarm and a dog barking in the city. It was very weird. Outside, we were also smelling gas and smoke.
You have Rachel instead of Dan. You have Rachel instead of Dan.
Oh, okay, thank you for that report from Vallejo. Okay, it looks like we have Daniel Murphy from Richmond on our line right now. Can you tell us what...
I'm sorry, it's Rachel Luna instead.
Sorry, it's Rachel Luna from Richmond on our line right now. Can you tell us what you saw?
Oh, it was terrible. I was near San Pablo Avenue and Hilltop Drive. I saw several homes fall down a hill. It seemed like it happened in slow motion. It all began when I was running through the playground, and I watched as the ground shook and shook. And then all of a sudden, these houses, maybe about 3 or 4 of them, just quietly rolled down the hill. And I hope no one was inside them. It was very frightening. We called 911, and we're still waiting for the fire department to get here.
Rachel, is your family all right?
Yes, we're all right here. I'm just worried about our neighbors across the street.
Is there any way that you can see if your neighbors are okay?
No, because there's a huge hole where those houses used to be. It's far too dangerous to go over there. We'll have to wait for the fire department.
Okay, Rachel, thank you for your call.
We are getting some reports that this afternoon's quake might have been as much as 7.0 on the Richter scale. The internet is giving us this information, so at this point, 7.0 is unconfirmed.
Let's take our last caller from the San Pablo, which is probably the epicenter of this quake. I'm being told that this is Jenny Cadet. Hello, Jenny. Tell us what's happening there in San Pablo.
Hello? It's very bad out here in San Pablo. They're talking about being centered somewhere around here. We have major damage. Our pipes are broken. All of the electricity is out. Sirens and alarms are going. Everything fell out of the shelves. All the TVs are on the floor. Everything is out of the cabinets. The china is broken. Our house is, it's very bad out here. I've lived in California all my life, and I've never felt anything like that.
Well, if you can remember the quake in 1989, which was 7.1, could you compare the two quakes? It might be hard to remember.
No, I remember it very well.
Okay, good. If you had to compare the two quakes, which one was worse?
This one was today. Probably 15 times stronger than the one in 89.
This one was 15 times stronger?
Yes, it was. And the one in 1989 was nothing compared to this.
Whoa, so you're saying the San Pablo has suffered a tremendous amount of damage?
Well, according to our house, it has. The swimming pool lost 1 foot of water. The water splashed into the house. So to me, that's a pretty strong quake.
Wow, well, thank you for your call.
We need to go to our newsroom where Johnny Cruz is standing by with news on collapsed freeways and buildings.
Our reports of serious damage. We have no report that the San Francisco Bay Bridge has collapsed and there are cars trapped. We also have reports that 1880 in Oakland has suffered several damage. People are calling and telling us that the freeway has fallen to the ground. Various shopping malls like Hilltop in Richmond and Sud Valley in Concord are reporting lots of broken windows. There are also reports some people that might have been injured. A brick has hit a person on the head in Emeryville, and the 911 system is still down in some areas. Pacific Bell is asking everyone to stay off the telephone unless you have an emergency. There are too many people calling 911 on this is jamming the phone lines. So please use 911 the right way. Again, we have had a major earthquake in the Bay Area, and it may be as big as 7.0. And again, the Bay Bridge may have collapsed, and our Channel 4 helicopter is on the way to the scene. And we will have more on this after news earthquake. Back to you, Myra and Lauren in the studios.
Thank you, Johnny. We'll talk to you later. Folks, please follow PG&E's advice and stay off those phones, unless you have a real emergency. We are starting to get reports of people who are hurt, and those phone lines are needed now. Also, elevator engineers are needed because there are people tracking elevators all over the place.
Excuse me, Lauren, but we need to get this word out about hospitals. Hospitals are on red alert. Hospitals everywhere are on red alert. This red alert includes the Kaiser of Richmond, Vallejo, and Concord. This red alert also includes the Medical Center of San Pablo and Pinole.
I understand that we have pictures of the damage to the Bay Bridge, and we will see those shortly.
Oh, those pictures aren't quite ready yet.
But we do have time for a short break, so we'll be right back.
Quickly, and now we have the pictures of the Bay Bridge.
Okay, here's our first live picture of the damage to the Bay Bridge. Boy, truly amazing pictures. An entire section of the Bay Bridge has been lost. A very, very frightening situation. We understand that there are some cars trapped. We can't really tell if there are any injuries there or not, but if you take a look at these pictures, you can see that perhaps there were.
Basically, what they're telling us, and these are early reports, is that the fallen section is a 50-foot section. The Bay Bridge crews are also telling the people on the bridge to make a U-turn and to get out of there. Traffic there is obviously stopped, and all of the approaches to the bridge are shut down. The bridge is closed. Reports keep coming in. Our Channel 4 staff is working at the assignment desk, and as we get more, we'll keep you posted.
Captain Kevin Novice, what's it look like?
This is just terrible. It looks like a bomb has gone off in the neighborhood. Earlier when we flew overhead, we saw many, many homes on fire, and several of them have been completely destroyed. Just a couple of miles from here, there are some collapsed freeways. The freeway is I-80 near San Pablo Dam Road. Building after building is either seriously damaged or on fire. The place is called El Sobrante Heights. It's the most serious affected place so far. The firefighters are doing the best they can to get all the fires out but they are outnumbered. We believe that many fires that the many fires have a result of broken gas mains. We are seeing fires all over the East Bay. I don't remember ever seeing this many fires during the 1989 quake.
30 this afternoon, California was hit by an earthquake that may have measured as much as 7.0. And since 3:30, we have been reporting the damage that has been caused by this quake. And so far, we have many reports of serious damage and even some injuries.
Actually, within the last 30 minutes, we've been getting a lot of serious damage reports, and most of it appears to be in the East Bay. Probably the most devastating news that we got was the collapse of the Bay Bridge and the Nimitz Freeway. We also have many fires burning throughout the area. BART trains are all stopped. There is damage to the tracks near the Del Norte and Richmond stations. So needless to say, these BART stations are closed.
As we said earlier, the 911 system is down in some areas, so please stay off the phones. And we've gotten word now of a total of 200 injured. Again, 200 people hurt in this entire Bay Area from today's earthquake.
The Contra Costa Disaster Team and FEMA is asking for all rescue people to report to duty. You are needed in this area and probably all over the East Bay. And here we are again having another aftershock.
Our Channel 4 reporter has finally arrived at the USGS in Menlo Park, where the seismologist will update us on today's earthquake.
Hello, Mara and Laura. Dr. Brianna Jimenez will be talking with us in just a few more minutes. But what we have learned so far, that this is a magnitude 7.3 earthquake. It was centered in the Western Contra Costa area. They are still trying to get an exact epicenter on this. They have been in contact with the National Earthquake Information Center in Colorado, and both agencies agree on this 7.3 number. They also talked about the aftershocks. They said expect lots of them. Just a few moments ago, you guys felt one. However, here we did not feel it. So it seems that this area has not been hit nearly as bad as some of the other areas closer to San Pablo. In fact, the power is on here in Menlo Park. Meanwhile, much of the power is out in the northern East Bay. The last major earthquake to hit this area was in 1989, and that one was a 7.1, the famous Luna Prieta quake. That one did a tremendous amount of damage throughout the Bay Area. I want to show you what the seismograph measured. This is the beginning of the earthquake. And here's the end of the main shock. And then all the aftershocks started. Keep in mind that this could be a foreshock. However, there's only a 5% chance. Again, you can brace yourself for more aftershocks, which are sure to come. Now, Dr. Brianna Jimenez will be talking with us in a moment. She will give us a last information on the afternoon earthquake. Now let's look at what Dr. Brianna is writing. Now keep in mind that this earthquake happened on the San Andreas Fault. Is that correct? No. No, I was wrong. Dr. Brianna, are you ready to give us an update?
Not yet, in a few minutes.
Okay, we got a few minutes. Well, again, the quake is a 7.3. It was centered in the northern East Bay. We're not sure what fault line. We're not sure what fault line this quake happened on, but all of this information is forthcoming. Dr. Brianna Jimenez will be joining us in a moment.
Okay, I'd like to give you a summary of the activity this afternoon. The preliminary magnitude is 7.4 for an earthquake at 3:33 this afternoon in the Point Pinole area. It was widely felt all over the Bay Area, including Northern California and as far away as Carson City and Las Vegas. We believe it was on the northern end of the Hayward Fault under Western Contra Costa County. There were a lot of aftershocks. We've been recording about 50 of them every half hour. We know that there's been at least one in the 5 range, and we've had several more that I personally felt, so these were probably in the 4 range. We expect these aftershocks to go on for at least a month or so, maybe even longer for this size earthquake. But they will occur at a decreasing rate, so people in the East Bay will be feeling a little shaking here and there. It's best for people to be aware of damaged buildings because aftershocks could damage them even further.
Dr. Brianna Jimenez, how big could the next aftershock be?
Well, according to our models, we could expect them to be a little less than 1 point less than the main shock. So an aftershock in the 5s, and that could cause further damage.
This quake seems to last quite a long time. Could you specify just how long it lasted?
Okay. Actually, it probably took the fault 10 or 15 seconds to break. But since the waves bounce around and reflect off other materials within the crest, you probably felt it longer than that.
Is it your belief that this quake happened on a different fault than the one that ruptured in 1989 in Ohlone, Petria?
At this point, yes. The 89 earthquake occurred some 90 miles southwest of today's epicenter. Today's earthquakes and aftershocks line up along the Hayward Fault. This fault is a strike-slip fault.
What's a strike-slip fault?
Well, that's the geometry of the fault. Most faults in California go straight down into the crest, but each side moves horizontally past each other like this.
Dr. Jimenez, will the aftershocks be centered just within the San Pablo area?
The epicenter of the main shock where the rupture started, and the rupture spreads out. It's like when you're unzipping a zipper. You start at one end and then move along. So the aftershocks will be generally located around the entire area where the main shock was.
Can you say which community the fault runs through? Do you know what the path of the fault is?
Yes, the Hayward Fault starts just south of San Jose and goes for about 90 kilometers northwestward till it ends at Point Pinole. It goes through all of the East Bay Hills and cities like Hayward, El Cerrito, Berkeley, and Richmond.
Dr. Brianna, there continues to be all this earthquake activity at Mammoth Lake. Is this connected to today's quake?
Only in the big picture, because earthquakes are always related or connected to each other. The Mammoth Lake events did not cause today's earthquake, so there's no relation between the two activities.
This quake is probably not a foreshock, correct?
The chances that this quake is a foreshock would be less than 5% or about 1 out of 20. If we use the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake, for example, that had a textbook aftershock sequence. That means first there's the main shock and many, many aftershocks which die off through time.
The fault is the East Bay are probably not capable of an 8.0 quake, are they?
That's true. We hope that's the case.
Can we expect more of the significant aftershocks contained within a certain time period, or can they be within the next few hours or days?
Well, the way that aftershocks occur is that they must come in right after the main shock. And then they decay through time. In other words, they die off through time.
Dr. Jimenez, you upgraded the magnitude 7.0 to a 7.4. Any chance on upgrading it again?
Well, this 7.4 is still a preliminary magnitude. We still have not a chance to look at all of the records available to us, okay? Okay, thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. 7.4 are on the Richter scale and centered in the San Pablo area. They are still working on getting a precise location. The scientists here are all going back to work and they will let us know if they have new information, and we will let you know what happens when that happens. Reporting from the USGS Earthquake Lab in Menlo Park, I'm Andrea Hillary. Back to you, Myra and Laura, in the studio.
Hey, Andrea, thank you for that report. Wow, 7.4. That certainly is stronger than we first thought.
San Francisco International Airport is the only airport in the Bay Area that is open.
The American Red Cross has set up emergency shelters for people who have lost their homes. The shelters are at the following locations: for the city of Richmond, Kennedy High, Coronado, and Dover. For this area, Pinole Middle, Ohlone, Hercules, and Hannah Ranch School.
The city of Hercules is asking for all off-duty staff to report to their job sites. The city is asking for your help in the community. Also, they're asking for volunteers.
Excuse me, Lauren, but this is the first time that we are hearing something like this. But the Red Cross is reporting 63 people dead from this afternoon's earthquake. And this is very unfortunate, but that is what they are reporting. We have the Fire Chief, Christina Novice, on our lifeline right now. Can you hear us?
Chief Novice here.
We are hearing about numerous fires all over the San Pablo area. Can you tell us why are?
I can't. Can you please speak up?
Yes, do you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you much better now. There's a lot of noise going on here at the Emergency Operations Center.
All right, we seem to be getting many reports of fires that appear to be all over the East Bay, especially in the San Pablo and El Sobrante areas. Are these the result of broken gas lines?
Yes, that's correct. The ground shook really hard. This made a lot of underground gas pipelines break. The shaking also broke many water pipelines as well. This caused a serious problem in those cities because we have to try and put out the fires, which is not easy.
Chief, what areas have been mostly affected by the fires?
It seems to be in an area just north of Richmond. That could be in San Pablo, El Sobrante, and parts of Pinole. Our fire crews are working on all of the fires, and they're doing their best to put them out. But the most serious fires appear to be in the West County area. We do have plenty of resources there.
Thank you, Chief Novice. We understand that Kim Leese, who is with the Red Cross, is on the phone with us. Apparently, we gave out some wrong information.
Yes, that is correct. We heard that your station reported that the Red Cross is reporting 56 deaths. I want to make it very clear that we are not responsible for keeping these kinds of records. We do not keep track of how many people are killed in disasters. We simply provide safe, comfortable places with food and water for the homeless after a disaster. So the number that you have is incorrect as far as we are concerned.
Okay, thank you for your call. We're sorry about the misinformation that we gave out, but everyone must understand that we have a critical situation here and we might give out news that could be wrong. But we are trying our best to give out the most accurate information. Okay, we have Channel 4 reporter Ashley Carlo, who is standing by live at some hospital. What hospital are you at?
We're at the Kaiser in Vallejo, where there are about a dozen victims coming into this emergency room. We've seen many different kinds of injuries. We've seen people who have broken legs or arms. We've seen head injuries, and we've seen lots of cuts and bruises. This hospital is on a yellow alert. This means that the hospital is ready to receive any serious injuries from this quake. They have called all of their off-duty nurses and doctors to come in for just in case. We're going to talk to the ER nurse to see what's happening here. I know that you're busy, but can you tell us what the hospital's going through right now and what kinds of injuries you're seeing?
Well, this hospital is currently on a yellow alert, and this means that the hospital's called most of its medical volunteer workers. We have enough room here, but just in case we suddenly get a lot of patients, we will open other available rooms. We are in contact with the John Muir Trauma Center in Walnut Creek. They are receiving many injured people. They are receiving many injured people. I've seen all kinds of injuries today. Many broken bones, cuts, bruises, and 2 heart attack victims. Our most serious injury came from Oakland. It was a man who fell from a 6-story building, and he was reported to be in critical but stable condition.
Where are most of your victims coming from?
It seems to be from San Pablo. It seems to be from the San Pablo Richmond areas.
Have you received any fatalities?
No, we haven't, although some in the East Bay have received them.
Okay, nurse, we know that you're busy. Thank you for talking with us. I spoke to another nurse earlier before we went on the air, and she told me that this is even worse than the Loma Prieta.
Oh my goodness.
Where is this at?
We are right over the Interstate 80 and Highway 4 interchange, and it's just a complete mess. It looks like it is just falling apart. There are cars all over the place. It has collapsed onto the roadway below. There are cars that have overturned, and it does not look like a pretty sight. Traffic has no place to go. It's blocked in both directions. It just looks like the whole thing has fallen apart.
Let me ask you this. About how many cars are you seeing right now?
On the top of the structure, maybe about 10 cars or so. On the bottom, it's impossible to tell because it looks like the upper roadway has collapsed onto the lower roadway. There are cars that have fallen off, and there are cars that have overturned. And I don't even want to think about what has happened to the cars on the lower roadway underneath.
My goodness. Thank you. President Clinton will be speaking about this earthquake disaster, and he might even declare our state of California under a state of emergency. And we will go live to the White House when that happens. My director is telling me that we are ready to go to the White House right now.
First, let me, if I might, comment on the earthquake very early this morning. I have spoken with Governor Wilson and with Mayor Reardon by phone. I've assured them that we intend to do everything we possibly can to deal with the earthquake and its aftermath. I've also spoken with James Lee Witt, the director of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. He is probably, as we meet here, on his way to California. Secretary Cisneros, I know, is going out later today. We may have other representatives of the government there. We have done everything we can, both to provide the resources and the backup we need. I believe that later today it will be possible for us to issue the appropriate federal declaration for California. We're going to go out there anyway, and our people will be doing the necessary work to try to do that. FEMA has had a lot of challenges this year, what with the 500-year flood in the Middle West and the fires in Southern California, but the good news is I think they're well organized and ready to deal with this, and I have been very impressed with the work that's already been done.
So we are currently under a state of emergency, and this will remain in effect for 2 days or so.
We are getting reports that the Sun Valley Mall in Concord has suffered heavy damage. One reporter says that the mall has collapsed in several places and someone may be trapped. The Concord Fire Department is telling us that there is a man trapped somewhere in the mall, and we'll be right back.
This is the scene at the Sun Valley Mall. We've been watching this area for the past few minutes, and we can see that some kind of rescue is going on. It is for a man who is trapped under the concrete. There are many fire and rescue crews on the scene. We noticed something was wrong when we saw all the firefighters working in this one area. They have been here for about an hour. We do not know if this man is trapped in a car or not. Also, it looks like this area took a real hard hit. There are other buildings in the area that have collapsed, but we will continue to stay over this scene until they get this man out.
We need to go to our Channel 4 reporter, Michaela Gilkey, who's at a Red Cross Communication Center.
We are at the Red Cross Command Center where the phones are ringing off the hook. The Red Cross hotline has just been activated within the last few minutes. All of these people are volunteers who decided to take the time to help. The Red Cross is asking for your help tonight. If you would like to offer some kind of assistance, you should come down to the city of Hercules where the command center is. And here's the hotline number: 415-202-0740. And now I have somebody who is a volunteer coordinator for the Red Cross. First, tell us your name and tell us why we should call this number.
Hello, my name is Simone Brownlow. I'm the Red Cross coordinator. Well, we are in need of public help. If you would like to volunteer your time by answering phones or numbering a running office and command center, please come by. We need your help. We need blankets, food, and clothing, and you can give any of those things. We could really use donations of money. You can send us a check payable to the Red Cross, or you may come bring cash. Anything will help, so please come by if you can.
All right, thank you, Simone. We know you're pretty busy. Again, anyone who can help, please come by. The Red Cross needs you. If you can help, give them a call at the Red Cross hotline at 415-202-0740. This is Michaela Gilkey reporting live. Back to you, Lauren and Myra.
Thank you for the report from the Red Cross.
Again, an earthquake measuring 7.4 hit the East Bay today at 3:30 and will return after this.
How come you haven't called to have pure, great-tasting Alhambra water delivered to your home? Come on, we're talking 3 free bottles here. Offer ends soon.
Understand that we have one of our Channel 4 reporters at an East Bay hospital.
Lauren and Maya, we're here at the Doctor's Medical Center in Pinole, where you can see the victims of this earthquake. Most people had suffered cuts and bruises. We are going to talk to someone who has fallen off the roof of her home. Hello, can you tell us what happened this afternoon?
Yes, I was on the roof trying to get a frisbee when the house started shaking. It shook so bad, I lost my balance and was thrown down. Fortunately, I fell into some bushes and garbage cans. My friend brought me to the hospital, and I've been here ever since.
How are you feeling now?
I'm much better now. My head hurts a little, but I think I'll be okay.
Okay, thank you for talking with us. We hope you get better real soon. Well, that was the many who have come to get first aid at this hospital. We are going to talk to someone else. Let's talk to you. Hello, can you tell us what happened this afternoon?
Yes, I was taking a nap when the quake hit my 60-inch TV. Fell on me when I was sleeping. It hit my legs, and now I have several stitches, and then
Okay, just relax. We're going through a pretty good aftershock right now. Lauren and Maya, are you guys feeling this?
We sure are. This is a pretty big aftershock. People should be taking cover right now. You should be under a desk or a table.
Yes, this one certainly rocked our building. In fact, our lights are still swinging into lane. People really should be ready for these aftershocks because we just don't know how strong they'll be.
Another thing to think about is that the chance that these aftershocks could cause further damage to buildings that have already suffered from the first main shock. Now we have had a pretty strong aftershock and we will probably have others. Shock as it appeared on the seismograph.
That was a big jolt, probably the biggest one. You can see that needle is still swinging back and forth.
Yes, it still is. It felt like our building went over a railroad track.
And by looking at our seismograph, you can see that the ground is still vibrating. Let's go out to the USGS where our reporter Andrea Hillary is standing by. Did you feel that?
Sure. All of the scientists ran through their computers when it hit. So this place is really jumping now. Some of the seismologists seem to think that aftershock measured about a 5.1. And this is primarily reading, but right now we know that this aftershock was a 5.1.
Wow, it sure felt that way.
I would agree. Seen at Sun Valley Mall in Concord, where the drama is unfolding. This is where there's a rescue going on at this very moment.
On our live line is Brittany Churchill, our Channel 4 reporter. Can you tell us what's going on there?
Hello, Myla and Lauren. As you can see, we're at the Sun Valley Mall. This is where a parking garage has collapsed, and under all of this concrete is a man. When the quake hit, this man was working on the garage when it fell on top of him. And right now, there are dozens of firefighters here trying to free him. We've heard that the man is talking to the firefighters, so we know that he is alive. There is a medical helicopter waiting to take him to the hospital, and we will be here when that happens. Meanwhile, the latest is that this man is still trapped, and he's been trapped for about an hour. Reporting live from the Sun Valley Mall. Back to you in the studio.
I don't believe that Brittany Churchill can hear us, but we were told that the fire department brought oxygen down to this trapped man. He has been trapped for a couple of hours, and he probably doesn't have enough air.
And this is not the only structure that has collapsed in this area. There are dozens of other buildings in this area that have suffered much damage. And we should also mention, please stay away from those buildings because there could be another aftershock. We have already felt a couple of really strong winds within the last half hour. And you could get hurt if you're too close to a damaged building during an aftershock.
The governor of California is now declaring Contra Costa County under a state of emergency, and this means that this county will now receive some assistance from the federal government. Here's that collapse again. We keep showing this because of the man who was trapped under that concrete. The firefighters are constantly dealing with the danger of aftershocks. While they are moving those heavy beams of concrete, they might accidentally hurt the person that they are trying to get up. So they have to be extremely careful.
Many of us can remember the quake of 1989 when we had a man trapped under the collapsed Nimitz Freeway. That man was trapped for several days and they were able to get him out alive. So this man has a pretty good chance of making it. The other good thing is that this man is speaking with the firefighters, so we know that he has not been injured seriously.
We are going to stick with this story because it is continuing drama. Our helicopter 4 is over the scene bringing us these pictures. The rescuers are preparing to take this man to the closest hospital in the area, and that would be the John Muir Trauma Center.
If you are just tuning in, this is finally the end of a rescue at the Sun Valley Mall here in Concord. This was a man who has been trapped since 3:33 when the earthquake occurred. He had been working in this part of the garage when it collapsed on him. He had to feel every aftershock that we felt, and now his nightmare is finally over. The dozens of firefighters risked their lives, and I'm pretty sure that they are pretty happy.
Yes, they are. We're being told that this man is a 35-year-old man from the Walnut Creek area, and that's all we know about him. But he's now in the care of the paramedics and is on his way to a hospital. Captain Kevin, are you there?
Yes, we're here. Now here's what's happening. The man has been taken to the ambulance, and it will drive him to a helicopter that is waiting to take him to the hospital. The ambulance is now ready to take this man to the helicopter. The rescuers are very proud and excited about what's happened. The helicopter is ready for takeoff. The medics have just boarded the chopper and they will be on their way. Now once they're ready, we'll follow them to the hospital.
This has been an amazing story from start to finish. If you're just joining us, this is a man who was trapped on the bottom floor of a 3-story parking structure. And he had been there ever since the earthquake hit at around 3:33 this afternoon. He was trapped under all of the concrete for about an hour, and firefighters have finally got him out.
And there the helicopter goes. Finally, after over an hour, he is finally free, and we hope that he is on his way to a speedy recovery.
That was a wonderful ending to a tragic story that began at about 3:33 today, when a 7.4 earthquake hit just west of us.
Actually, it hit an area near San Pablo on the Hayward Fault. It has serious damage throughout the western and there are several freeway systems that have been affected by this earthquake. The Bay Bridge is closed. 180 at Hilltop and San Pablo Dam Road is closed. I-80 at Highway 4 in Hercules is closed, and I-880 in Oakland is closed.
All of these major freeway systems suffered serious damage. Also, Oakland Airport is now closed. An airport office is telling us that there are huge cracks in the runways. SFO is open.
I'm going to mention some earthquake safety tips because there has been a major earthquake in the Bay Area. So you should be following along with us so that we can get through this crisis. If you want to help out, please call the American Red Cross at 415-202-0740. That's 415-202-0740. They will also be able to help you locate any loved ones. The San Francisco mayor is telling everyone to stay off the roads and do not drive into any of the damaged areas.
The Red Cross is asking for your help. If you can help, please contact them. They are also asking for many donations. They are also asking for only specially trained volunteers. So if you are not trained in urban rescue, please do not show up at the shelters. They need the special trained people only.
Now, since we've experienced a major earthquake, we need to warn everyone that aftershocks are sure to come. We're going to tell you some important things to remember since all of us live here in earthquake country. Bolt down your large furniture. Strap down hot water heaters if there are not already. Remove any heavy objects off your shelves that could fall. Put latches on cabinets so that dishes, pots, and pans won't come flying out. Remember to not put heavy objects close to your bed. They could fall on you while you sleep.
Now, every single home in California should have an earthquake emergency kit. The kit should have enough supplies and food for at least 48 hours. If you take medication, you should put it into your kit. You should have food like trail mix, power bars, or granola bars in your emergency kit. Any kind of food that will not spoil is fine. Make sure that you have a flashlight and extra batteries and small change for payphones. If you have pets, make sure that you have extra pet food too. Now, if you have access to the internet, you can reach our website for these helpful emergency instructions at kccn.com. Finally come to this, a very tragic day with a happy ending. The firefighters, paramedics, police officers, everyone in this community work together and we say thanks. For all the people who pulled together the courage, the kindness, and the generosity, it makes us proud to serve the Bay Area community today.
It's an amazing thing to see how we could all pull together as a family through the crisis and then to begin the healing process. We're so thankful that so many people around the Bay Area have worked together and now they are dealing with what has happened. Thank you very much for being with us this afternoon.
Good night.